What if I told you that some of these ancient practices were so bizarre, so taboo, that they would chill even the most fearless explorers? Prepare to uncover 10 of the most mind-bending, unsettling customs from the land of the pharaohs. Number 1. Mummification rituals. Embalmers wore Anubis masks, working in dim rooms filled with death, creating a nightmarish preservation of bodies. Organs were removed and stored in jars, with the brain discarded and the heart left inside, reflecting eerie priorities. Items like food, jewelry, and shabby dolls were buried with the dead, believed to serve them in the afterlife. Some mummies had their mouths forced open to breathe and speak in the afterlife, a disturbing eternal scream. Animals, including cats and crocodiles, were mummified too, seen as companions for the deceased in the afterlife. Scarab beetle amulets were placed over the heart, inscribed with spells to protect the dead from evil spirits. The wrapping process involved layers of linen and resin, creating a mummy's ghostly appearance and preserving them. Priests performed rituals and recited spells during mummification, adding a chilling supernatural element. Body parts were often rearranged to ensure the mummy could function properly in the afterlife, a morbid necessity. Wealthier individuals had more elaborate mummifications, reflecting social status even in death's eerie embrace. Number 2. Animal sacrifices. Egyptians believed animals like bulls and cats had divine connections, sacrificing them in unsettling rituals. Sacrificial ceremonies involved priests performing elaborate rites, creating an eerie atmosphere of reverence and death. Bull sacrifices were particularly gruesome, with the animal's blood used in religious ceremonies. Cats, sacred to the goddess Batet, were often ritually killed and mummified, reflecting a macabre devotion. Crocodiles, linked to the god Sobuk, were sometimes sacrificed, their ferocity adding to the ritual's terror. Animal sacrifices were thought to appease gods and ensure prosperity, blending fear and faith in disturbing ways. Some rituals involve the symbolic reenactment of myths, with animals playing roles in these chilling performances. Sacrifices were often public spectacles, drawing crowds to witness the grim proceedings. The remains of sacrificed animals were sometimes placed in tombs, believed to serve and protect the deceased. This practice highlights the Egyptians' deep spiritual connection to animals, viewed through a dark, sacrificial lens. Number 3. Death masks and funerary art. Death masks were created to ensure the deceased soul could recognize their body, a haunting necessity. Masks were made from materials like gold and painted to depict an idealized version of the dead. Some masks were disturbingly lifelike, capturing the deceased's features with eerie accuracy. Funerary art often depicted scenes of the afterlife, with images of gods and demons adding to the macabre. Tomb paintings showed the deceased's journey to the afterlife, filled with trials and supernatural encounters. Artisans used vibrant colors and intricate details, making death's imagery both beautiful and terrifying. Statues of the deceased were placed in tombs, believed to house the spirit if the mummy was damaged. These statues were sometimes made with unsettling realism, adding to the tomb's ghostly atmosphere. Funerary texts, like the Book of the Dead, contain spells and instructions for navigating the afterlife's perils. The combination of art and death rituals created a visually haunting legacy that endures in Egyptian tombs. Number 4. Rituals for the dead. Rituals included opening of the mouth, enabling the deceased to eat and drink in the afterlife. Priests performed these rites, chanting spells in dark, smoke-filled chambers. The dead were dressed in fine linens and adorned with jewelry, creating an eerie juxtaposition of life and death. Offerings of food and drink were made regularly, believed to sustain the spirit in the afterlife. Tombs were designed as eternal homes, with elaborate decorations and provisions for the dead's comfort. Rituals often involved reenacting the Osiris myth, symbolizing resurrection and eternal life. The dead were sometimes given magical tools to help them navigate the afterlife's dangers. Protective amulets were placed on the body, believed to ward off evil spirits and ensure safe passage. Priests conducted these ceremonies with solemnity and precision, heightening the ritual's ominous atmosphere. Families continued these practices for years, maintaining a chilling connection to the dead. Number 5. Curse of the Pharaohs. Tombs were often inscribed with curses to deter grave robbers, promising death and misfortune to intruders. The curse of Tutankhamun's tomb led to a series of mysterious deaths among the excavation team. Stories of cursed tombs fueled superstitions and fear, adding an eerie mystique to archaeological explorations. The curses invoked the wrath of gods and spirits, blending supernatural terror with ancient beliefs. Some tomb inscriptions detailed gruesome fates for violators, such as being eaten by crocodiles. These curses contributed to the aura of dread surrounding ancient Egyptian tombs. Despite skepticism, many believe in the power of these ancient curses, adding to their chilling legacy. Reports of sudden illnesses and accidents among tomb explorers perpetuate the legend of the curse. The fear of curses often led to rituals of protection before entering tombs, adding to the eerie proceedings. The idea of cursed tombs continues to fascinate and terrify, a lasting testament to ancient Egyptian lore. Number 6. Grave goods and tomb robbing. Tombs were filled with valuable goods, attracting grave robbers and creating a constant battle between protection and theft. Wealthy tombs included gold, jewels, and elaborate furniture, tempting targets for robbers. Tombs often had hidden chambers and traps to thwart intruders, adding a layer of danger to the heists. The punishment for tomb robbing was severe, including torture and death, reflecting the sanctity of burial sites. Some robbers were caught and brutally punished, their fate serving as a warning to others. Despite the risks, tomb robbing was a persistent issue, driven by the immense wealth buried with the dead. Stories of cursed treasure and haunted tombs added to the risks, deterring some but intriguing others. Archaeological discoveries of undisturbed tombs are rare, highlighting the success of many ancient thieves. Grave robbing contributed to the loss of historical artifacts, but also to tales of ghostly retribution. The ongoing conflict between preserving tombs and the allure of their riches creates a sinister narrative of greed and punishment. Number 7. Human sacrifice and ritual killings. Evidence suggests that servants were sometimes killed to accompany their masters in death, a chilling practice of loyalty. Ritual killings were believed to appease gods or accompany important figures to the afterlife. Some depictions show bound captives and sacrificial victims, illustrating a dark side of religious devotion. These sacrifices were often performed during major events, such as the death of a pharaoh. The victims were sometimes buried near or within the tombs, creating a haunting reminder of their fate. Ritual killings highlight the stark differences in ancient beliefs about life, death, and the divine. The practice of sacrificing humans underscores the power and fear associated with ancient Egyptian deities. These sacrifices were conducted with solemn rituals, heightening their ominous and terrifying nature. The remains of sacrificial victims provide a chilling glimpse into the brutality of these ancient practices. Human sacrifices were seen as necessary for the balance of the cosmos, blending horror with religious duty. Number 8. Cannibalism in myth and reality. Some ancient texts reference cannibalistic rituals, possibly symbolic of divine power and cosmic order. The cannibal hymn describes the pharaoh consuming gods to gain their strength, a disturbing concept. While largely symbolic, these texts hint at dark and taboo aspects of ancient Egyptian mythology. Actual evidence of cannibalism is rare, but adds to the chilling legends surrounding these practices. These myths emphasize the pharaoh's godlike status, even in death, through disturbing imagery. Cannibalism was seen as a way to absorb divine essence, blending reverence with horror. The idea of consuming gods reflects the complex and often terrifying beliefs about power and divinity. These myths contribute to the eerie and sinister aura surrounding ancient Egyptian religious practices. The cannibal hymn remains one of the most unsettling texts, blurring the line between myth and possible reality. The notion of divine cannibalism adds a macabre layer to the already complex Egyptian cosmology. Number 9. Dark ceremonies of the afterlife. The journey to the afterlife involved terrifying trials, depicted in tomb art and texts. The deceased had to face monstrous creatures and navigate dangerous landscapes. These dark journeys were guided by spells and amulets, adding a supernatural element. The weighing of the heart ceremony determined the soul's fate, a harrowing and final judgment. Failures in these trials meant eternal damnation, a fearsome prospect. The Book of the Dead provided instructions, but the journey remained perilous and fraught with terror. The depiction of afterlife trials reflects deep fears and beliefs about justice and morality. The journey's dangers highlight the ancient Egyptians' view of the afterlife as both a reward and a test. These ceremonies underscore the importance of piety and righteousness in life and death. The afterlife trials continue to fascinate and terrify, a testament to the enduring power of ancient Egyptian beliefs. Number 10. Ritual purification and cleansing. Priests underwent strict purification rituals before performing sacred ceremonies, emphasizing purity and fear of contamination. These rituals included fasting, bathing, and abstaining from certain activities, creating an aura of sacred dread. The purification process was believed to protect priests from malevolent spirits and ensure ritual success. Cleansing rituals were often performed in dark, secluded areas, adding to their eerie nature. Sacred oils and incense were used to purify and protect, their scents lingering ominously. The rituals highlighted the priest's role as mediators between the mortal and divine realms. Purification was essential for contact with the gods, reflecting deep fears of spiritual impurity. These practices reveal the ancient Egyptians' intense focus on spiritual cleanliness and protection. The meticulousness of purification rituals honor their importance and the fear of divine retribution. Ritual cleansing continues to intrigue, a reminder of the ancient world's blend of reverence and terror. And that's it from this video. See you in the next one.